Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Kuhn and I'm the co-founder and CEO of the company GOPF, and we partner together with 360inControl in order to visualize and make all the risks that are available somehow more graspable and more insightful. So I will quickly give you a tour on how we do that. So the partnership is built up in a very simple way. So you already use or leverage the existing 360 in control platform and then connect via an API key within a few minutes with our platform. And then what happens, our or your risk will automatically be transferred into our system and they will be processed. So let's give you an example and a little tour. What you see here in the background is our platform where the risks have been imported. So we see here whenever we look at the entries in the data set that are here, you see here different risks. So we have the abuse of personal data, cyber stalking, fraud, earthquakes, and so on, lightning strikes, etc. So imagine now you're a global risk manager or the CEO who wants to have an overview about the risks and also maybe synergies whenever you want to mitigate one risk. Where could it be in a sense also helpful to look at the same risk in different global distributed organizations? So to do that, we have enriched all the different risks with certain meta information. So for example, in which country is this risk being defined? And then we can go in, and now it's basically the beauty of this partnership is we are able to visualize this in a way that allows you to draw insights quicker and also find and identify risks and synergies, but also maybe missing risks that you haven't covered. So without further explanation, I will quickly show you. What you see here in the data landscape is a visual representation of the similarities of risks. So imagine we had the earthquake risk before. So whenever you have an earthquake, it could also be that the risk of a lightning strike is also a risk that is somewhere in the field of natural disasters. But then you maybe also have cyber attacks, and cyber attacks are not really related to earthquakes. And you can imagine the closer the risks are, and every little dot that you see here moving around in the background is a risk. So the closer they are, they group some sort of a cluster, we call it. And the cluster can be about a certain topic, for example, natural disasters, or business challenges, or data abuse, cyber attacks, fraud. These are all the labels that are machine generated. So the machine will automatically cluster all your risk about among global distributed companies. And let's quickly visualize that. So we switch here, and you see here we have different attributes that we can access. For example, we can country, and then we can say, hey, let's look at the risks that, for example, are among Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. And there we see only because of the color that, for example, here we have a mixed bundle of Austria and Switzerland. Null is because there's a missing title, but let's go in and we will see what this actually is. So service or system outages disrupt operations or customer delivery. So this is the core problem. And the one close to them are very similar projects. So this is all about service disruptions that are in this cluster. So now let's look at Spain, and we see in Spain we have 6% of the risk. So overall, this would mean that generally there are a lot less risks in Spain. But is that true, or did we just not cover all the risks? So let's go over here and then let's see. So for example, here, whenever we are in the field of damage, security, defense, data loss caused by a third party, we see, or malfunction of supply chain software, we see that Spain doesn't really cover any of these issues. So now it's the question, do we need to somehow bring up new risks? Do we need to complete the risk assessment and so on? And at the same time, whenever you would like to see, hey, overall the companies, we have now, for example, something about artificial intelligence. Is that somewhere a risk? So let's see. No results found. So AI is not a risk, but let's look at cyber security. Here we go. So here we see beautifully that the distribution is somewhere here in the cyber attack and defense space, and we see there are Italy, Sweden is there, Austria, and then we have also Sweden, Austria, and Switzerland in here. And the question is then, for example, how are the risks distributed? And maybe if you now take something like this example here below, you see one risk is data loss. So whenever you want to identify this risk and actually take a mitigation action, you can now go in and say, hey, look, this is something whenever we talk about data loss, which affects data loss, which affects many countries. So why not make one strategy or one mitigation that you would like to have in order to eliminate this risk for many global companies? And whenever you update your risks and your assessments within 360 in Control, it will automatically be synced with our platform. It will give you a new picture where you can go in and then, for example, look for likelihood or risk level, and then work with different measurements to optimize your risk portfolio. Without further say, whenever you're interested in having a demo with your risks or you would like to explore more, please feel free to reach out to 360 Control or to me. Thank you very much and have a great time.